Today, I am going to tell a very confusing story involving a college teacher and his two beautiful students. The detectives do not even know which end to approach the story from. I am waiting for your opinions on the movie in the comments. Enjoy watching it. The movie begins with the performance of a handsome college professor named Sam, adored by all the students and in love with all the female students. We see one of his admirers, student Kelly, who is the daughter of very rich parents and patrons of the city. But there are some girls who do not like Kelly, such as Susie. She lives more modestly than Kelly, and she also hates Detective Ray, who previously put the girl in jail for 6 months for possession of various pills. Sam is mooring his yacht, and Kelly approaches him, asking the handsome professor to drive the girl home. They are met by the girl's mother, Sandra, who once had an affair with Sam. On weekends, college students help Sam and willingly wash his Jeep. Our heroine, Kelly, and her friend are invited to this event. After they clean the teacher's car, Kelly asks her friend to go home, and she goes to the teacher, but the man shows no interest in her. Much offended by this, the girl goes home, and the very next day, Kelly does not go to college. She tells her mother that Sam, the teacher, took advantage of her. Detectives Ray and Gloria take over the case and record all of Kelly's statements. A weirdo private lawyer, Ken, becomes Sam's defense, and when he talks to him, of course, Sam denies everything and says he did not do anything. Kelly's overbearing mother pits the whole town against the professor, plus her young lover, and the poor professor is hounded. In the morning, a lawyer comes to see him, to whom he repeats that he does not sleep with his students as a matter of principle. That same evening, Susie calls the detectives and invites them to her house. The girl tells them how a year ago, Professor Sam took advantage of her, and in doing so, she utters the same phrase as Kelly. During the interrogation, this evidence becomes decisive, and the teacher is taken into custody pending trial. When court time arrives, we learn that Kelly has been cross-examined and she has confirmed her testimony. However, it comes time for Susie's interrogation, in which the lawyer shows off all her incredible skills. So Ken's lawyer, during Susie's interrogation, reminds her that Professor Sam saved her from prison twice and was a good friend, and then, according to her, he took advantage of her. However, a month after this incident, Susie is arrested with the pills, and the girl calls again to the professor specifically to help her again. However, that time he was on vacation, and Susie had to go to jail. Here, the girl cannot take the pressure and confesses that she slandered Professor Sam along with Kelly to get back at him. Susie did it because he did not save her from jail, and Kelly because Sam rejected her even though he was already sleeping with her mother. Kelly's family ended up having to shell out as much as $8 million to Sam because they had ruined the life and career of a teacher in this small town with their lies. And this money was taken from Kelly's grandfather's inheritance, which the girl would only be able to get after her mother died, who was still in her prime. The professor has to move into a hotel, and in the evening, Kelly comes to see him. We find out that Kelly was in cahoots with Sam to get his grandfather's inheritance early, and Susie was helping them pull it off. The three of them spend the night together. However, our detectives figured out the scam very quickly, and soon Detective Ray comes to Kelly. He tells her bluntly that he doubts that the three of them will be living in the Caribbean because Kelly and Sam are probably planning to kill Susie, the junkie, so they don't have to share the money with her. In the evening, the detective comes to Susie and reminds her how he killed her friend Dave when he detained her and then hints that he knows all about their scam, and that the companions will eliminate her as unnecessary ballast. Susie tries to call Sam in a panic and then goes to Kelly's house in fear. Sam calls Susie and tells her that if Kelly behaves so nervously, she will have to be gotten rid of, and then asks both girls not to give in to the detective's aggression. The girls freak out and start arguing, and even fighting, but then start kissing passionately, and all this gets on camera. Detective Ray, who has been following Susie all this time, now knows for sure about the conspiracy of the trio, and tells his colleagues about it. The next night, Kelly brings a drunk Susie to a deserted beach to have a nice time. Suddenly, Sam arrives there and suggests they all meet one last time and part ways. The guy asks Kelly to bring them a plaid, and he takes the drunken girl into the bushes and kills her. The couple takes the body to the swamp, where the man buries it. Susie's grandmother informs the detectives that her granddaughter has not returned home, and Detective Ray arrives with one of Sam's students at the beach where Susie liked to hang out. On the beach, our detective finds bloodstains on someone's teeth, presumably Susie's. The captain arrives at the beach and temporarily removes Ray from this criminal case. Ray then asks his partner Gloria to conduct a stakeout of the suspects. During this stakeout, Sam notices her and invites her into his hotel room to show her Kelly's personnel file. From this file, it becomes clear that the girl may well have killed Susie. Gloria immediately informs Ray, and he tells her that the blood found on the beach belongs to Susie. The detective goes to Kelly's mansion to protect her from Sam, but their meeting abruptly turns into an argument with gunshots. In the end, the detective is wounded and the girl is killed. The detective claims that he shot Kelly in self-defense, but he is still fired from the police force for disobeying the captain's orders. We then learn that forensics has determined that the blood traces found on Kelly's car match Susie's blood. The police therefore conclude that Kelly killed Susie. Sam is enjoying a rich life on a tropical island, but suddenly an uninvited guest arrives. The guest turns out to be Ray, who is also part of the whole scam and has now come to collect his half of the money. Sam says there's a problem and that he has to wait a couple of days for the money, but in the meantime, he can go sailing at sea on the yacht. Sam tries to get rid of Ray, whom he asks to pull the stuck cable and throws the man overboard. But somehow, unbelievably, Ray manages to get a hold of the rope and climb onto the boat. Suddenly, however, someone launches a harpoon at the former detective, and that someone turns out to be Susie, alive and well, who remembers Ray's murder of her friend Dave and launches another harpoon at the man. Finally, Sam and Susie are alone, and the blonde offers him a cocktail. But she sees the distrust in Sam's eyes and tells him that she doesn't know how to sail anyway, so she's not going to kill him. Sam drinks the cocktail, but it turns out to be poison. After that, our pretty girl makes him accidentally fall overboard with a nifty move of her hand and sails away on the boat. It would seem to be the end of the movie, but we are taken to Susie's grandmother, who was visited by Detective Gloria. She asks what she knows about former Detective Ray. The grandmother tells her that he came here to see a woman of easy virtue whom he started beating one night and that Dev, a guy in love with her, saw this and started defending her and then was shot and killed by the detective right in front of Susie. That's what Ray then put the girl in jail for. Grandmother tells that Kelly's grandfather used to come here to hunt and once brought a girl here who got pregnant by him, and he threw her out among the swamps. And the baby was adopted by that woman and named Susie. So it turns out that Susie and Kelly's mother are half-sisters, and to Kelly, Susie is an aunt. Before leaving, Gloria's eyes fall on a yacht that Susie's grandmother's son was preparing to sell. It turns out that the yacht belonged to Susie, and the girl was very good at steering it. We also learn that in intelligence tests, the girl had surprisingly high scores. We finally find out how the story began because it all started with a meeting in a bar between Kelly, a student, and her teacher, Sam. The girl offered the teacher a pill and spent the night with him. And this was captured in the pictures that Susie brought him, resentful of the teacher for not helping her avoid jail. The crafty girl devised a plan for the money scam. And through Sam, she brought in Detective Ray, with whom she had a score to settle over the arrest and murder of Dave's friend. And later, through Sam, Kelly was also involved. And Detective Ray came to kill Kelly that night and wounded himself in the shoulder. Susie pulled her own teeth to stage the murder. So Kenneth the lawyer comes to see the very clever Susie. He gives her Sam's money, minus his fee, and says the case is covered and wishes the girl good luck. That's the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching. Write in the comments what you think of this story and see you on the channel.